This was England's second T20 World Cup win. They are only the second team after West Indies to win the T20 World Cup 2 times. At this hour, I'm joined by BBC commentator Seth Bennett. I'm also joined by cricket analyst from Pakistan, Basit Subhani. Big congratulations to you, Seth, and commiserations to you, Basit. Seth, let me start with you at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Ben Stokes, once again, was the big hero. But before we talk about Ben, would you say the Jos Buttler era in English cricket begins tonight?
Well, I think it's already begun, hasn't it? It took a slow start, a stuttering start from Jos Buttler over the summer, but now you can see him completely in control of that team. And with that ability, I think, to show what he's able to do as not just a captain, but his form as a batsman and a wicketkeeper as well. I think he's juggling all of those jobs. If you want to go on to Ben Stokes, has there been a greater clutch player in the history of cricket? That's what I want to know, because he's outstanding. You know, you look at him on the biggest stage of all, every single format. Is there a more complete cricketer than Ben Stokes? I'm not sure I've seen a better player, more complete player than him on the big stage in my 44 years on this planet.
Seth, England must be just waking up right now to this news. What are the initial reactions coming in UK to this fantastic win of the English cricket team?
Well, I think people are delighted, and it's very much like the guy you spoke to just before. People are excited that England have won the T20 World Cup. It started at 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning. It's Remembrance Sunday here, and England won about 10, 15 minutes after everybody had held those minutes silence for Remembrance Sunday. The community kind of comes together at that point, and of course, there is this huge shadow of the FIFA Football World Cup, which everybody is starting to focus on, knowing that England are playing in the not too distant future. And this sets it up really, really nicely. And I think, as the gentleman that you spoke to, brilliant for England. And now all eyes go towards Qatar, to what's going to take place in the Football World Cup.
Also, let me ask you a little bit about, the run of the English team in this tournament. They were beaten by Irish. Would you say that was a big wake-up moment for the wake-up call for the English cricket team, and thereon it was no stopping Jos Buttler's men?
Well, I think you've got to be realistic about that Ireland defeat. It was a miscalculation. They didn't recognise that the rain was going to come down as hard as it did, and they just needed to get the run rate going at that stage of the game. It was almost a little bit like they were in this oblivious bubble, and they weren't able to get themselves in the position that they needed to be, or didn't realise they needed to get with the run rate at that point in the game. Since then, though, they've been outstanding. And I know you said that Pakistan maybe have won the hearts of people around the world. Is there a better white ball team in the history of cricket than England right now? They're absolutely outstanding at 20 overs, at 50 overs. They've got so many different ways of being able to beat you. And again, you look today at the players that step forward, and without Mark Wood, who's out injured, without Johnny Bairstow, who's maybe the most destructive batsman that England could potentially call on, they've still claimed that championship. And you've got to tip your cap, to Adil Rashid. He had a tough tournament. He's had a pretty tough 12 months. The last 2 games, he's been outstanding. And that ball, the googly that he bowled, that completely did Baba, was phenomenal, and a great catch as well.
Basit, well, let me come to you. The coach of the Pakistan cricket team, Saqlain Mushtaq, had spoken about Qudrat ka Karishma ahead of the World Cup knockouts, and which meant the order of nature, but perhaps the force decided to be with Adil Rashid and his team. And there was no Qudrat ka Karishma in Melbourne for the Pakistan team.
Yeah, I believe that's just for the banter purpose. The fact is, English cricket has been phenomenal. Congratulations to Bennett and his team. England has really outplayed Pakistan here tonight. Though Pakistani boys put in their best efforts and fought till the last ball, but it was the methodical performance by Ben Stokes, who is arguably the greatest cricketer of the present era, definitely, because he's the one who could actually finish the games. And he has once again proved that these averages and rankings, they all don't matter. What matters is the impact, and he's one hell of an impact player. I'm a big fan of his brand of cricket. And yes, indeed, Josh Butler's era has started in the true sense. And credit of this victory goes to Ian Morgan as well, who has actually laid these foundations of the modern day cricket, and the world has to learn a thing or two from them. There were quite a few turning points in this game. I believe first it was Babar Azam getting out at a stage when he looked all set, and then later on it was Shadab not being able to take the game deep. Another 20 runs, and this would have been a different game. I think Pakistan played a lot of dot balls, and full credit to England the way they have managed their T20 game without, there is no Jofra Archer, there was no Mark Wood tonight, and still they could manage with Ben Stokes opening up the bowling, and then how this Sam Curran, this young lad, he has come to the party at the right time. He has progressed. He's developed himself into a world-class all-rounder. So congratulations, England. Great cricket.
Yes, it is a great moment for the English cricket team. Right now, I am also joined by one of the English fans here. Tell us, have you traveled all the way? Just come into the frame a little bit. Have you traveled all the way from England?
Nah, I just traveled from Nanawar. It's like 25 minutes away. I'm basically a Pakistani supporter. But because my friends were from England, right? When England won, they gifted me this shirt. They were like, because we are friends and brothers. So, and I gifted him my Pakistani shirt. But main reason for the interview is mostly that I want to thank a lot of Indian fans that came here, and a lot of them were supporting Pakistan. So I'm really thankful for them to support us. Obviously we lost, but it's all right. Like England played really well and Pakistan bowled really well. And that's why it was enjoyable even for the people who weren't from these two countries.
Right.
Even for Indian fans, it was enjoyable. Even for a lot of Sri Lankan fans who came here.
What was the high point for you in this final?
High point was when Haris Rauf took the wicket. That one, and obviously a disappointing point was obviously the openers of Pakistan. But at the end, it's a final, so anything can happen. It's one game. It's obviously one bad ball for a batsman, and that's what happened for a lot of Pakistani batsmen. But at the end, because it went till the last over, it was enjoyable for 1.8 billion people who were watching it. So I'm really happy about that.
I'm happy for you that you've enjoyed the game.
Exactly. Pakistan was mostly out of the World Cup, and by
yes, and they made a stunning turnaround in the World Cup. Now to have played the finals, lost against England by 5 wickets. He's a Pakistani fan who was sitting with a bunch of English fans tonight. There were Indian fans also in the crowd supporting the Pakistan cricket team. Several high and low moments for them. Let me go back to Basit. Basit, at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, we saw there was an overwhelming support for the Pakistan cricket team back home after they have won. Do you think they will get this kind of support when they return to Pakistan?
Well, the emotions are quite high at the moment. You see, in one of the cult films, we have grown watching Andaz Apna Apna. They say, "Haath ko aaya, muh na lagaya." Yeah, so close yet so far. So it may hurt more. And we had heard about India being one of the chokers, and now the same could be said about Pakistan, because within a year, we have gone quite close of winning big tournaments. We were in the final of Asia Cup and we couldn't cross the line. And then just the last year T20 World Cup, Pakistan lost to Australia. We were in a very commanding position. You see, around 50 runs needed in 3 overs, and you expect Pakistani bowling to do well and win them the game. So I think it'll be very tough for the fans to digest such a victory, because people were relating this to the 1992 famous victory of Pakistan, and they were hoping against the hope at times that something will turn up or it might rain, or something may happen, a run out from here and there. But once again, you see, what matters is how they perform on the field, and they just couldn't cross that. It could be a mental barrier, but definitely it should be discussed that they have failed to, just cross the line when it really mattered.
Well, Seth, I was talking to a lot of Australian supporters here who were barracking for Pakistan, and they were saying that whoever wins tonight, there will be one Australian winning. And of course, with the English cricket team winning, Michael Hussey, who's a part of their camp, takes the cup as well, takes a credit in this win as well. Let me ask you a little bit about, the English cricket team, and would you say that this win is a redemption for them, given that, 2015, they had a crushing defeat in Adelaide, and that's when they went back to the drawing board. They redrew limited overs philosophy, and that has given them the kind of returns that they have had with the 2019 World Cup and now the 2020 edition of the 2020 World Cup?
Yeah, I think so. I think that if you were to mark a plot on the timeline as where English cricket changed, I think you would go back to that, and you would look at Owen Morgan being appointed as the captain, and him having that hands-on ability to just change things, and to be able to go out there and say to his players, you just play. If you're somebody that can hit the ball, go out there and hit the ball. If you can hit a 4, well, that'd be great. If you can hit a 6, even better. Okay, if you get out, it's not the end of the world. We'll carry on trying to play the same way, and there will be failures and there'll be moments, but there'll also be times where we can go on and maybe make 400. Could we be the first team in history to go and make 500? And those kind of boundaries all of a sudden change things. Those goals change things for English cricket. And when you look at Ben Stokes out there today, where he didn't score, I think it was 9 or 10 balls in a row where he was unable to get the ball off the square. But he didn't panic, because he still knew there was time. He still knew there was plenty of opportunity. And when push came to shove, he was able to deliver that telling blow. And those couple of overs, 3 or 4 overs from the end where they really put the ball to the boundary, they took their moment. And that's the difference in English cricket right now. There are players that can take their moment when it comes.
Absolutely. Now it's the moment under the sun for English cricket. They are the 2020 World Champions, and they return home with the trophy. English fans singing, "It's coming home." Now, perhaps all fans will be waiting for the Football World Cup to get home as well. With that, a wrap on Turning Point. Thank you very much, Seth and Basit, for joining me on the broadcast at this hour.